Hey, I'm Omar Aweidah. I'm concept artist over here at Cloud Imperium Games. And currently, for the past couple months, I've been working on helmets. Generally, what we do is we get a concept art or like a quick drawing or something like that from either Rob McKinnon, Kelton, or Jeremiah Lee, who I believe you saw earlier in the episode. And when that happens, the 3D concept art can kind of move a little faster. So I'll kind of give you one example of something that we would get. We would kind of get a sketch like this from Jeremiah Lee, and then the end product from me would be something like this. I just want to get Jeremiah under the bus. Okay, well, starting off, so me and Gurmuk use Maya. And the first thing I'll start to do is start to build general shape, either out of ZBrush or Maya, and make sure that we get it onto our base male character, so that, as you can see here, the helmet actually fits into the head of our character. So we try to make sure that even when it's our concept art, when we give it to the modelers, they have the proper scale and reference for the helmets, and we try to keep our topology pretty clean. And then once we get a design that we like or is approved by Rob or who's ever in charge of the concepts, right now it's Rob McKinnon, who's our production designer, and he's the one doing all the designs for the costumes. Once they like the general shape, what we'll do is we'll bring it into this program called Keyshot, and then right before I do that, I'll make sure that all the materials are called out. So each color represents a separate material. And when we do this, it just helps me understand what is what. Like, I know this is going to be painted metal. I know this is going to be glass with a HUD on it. These are going to be steel. The colors here don't actually mean anything. It's just the fact that there's a separate material. So here is what it would come into. This is a different helmet. This is our EVA helmet. And when we were designing this one, the objective was to have a much less obstructed view. Okay, so one of the reasons why every time I rotate this is essentially just a way to put materials on an object and then get a good image out to start before we paint over. Keyshot is really great at that because it's super quick, but a reason why it starts to be all frazzly is because it's a progressive render, which means over time it's gathering more and more samples. So the longer I don't touch it and I don't move it, the better the image quality will be, because it's constantly sampling and constantly growing. So then we give it like time limits. We'd be like, oh, this image takes about 5 minutes to render or something like that. So we can have a good base to start with. And then where I kind of derive a lot of my inspiration from these helmets are mostly vehicle design. And this helmet, I wanted to make this helmet pretty sleek. But then at other times, like we talked about earlier with style guides, and depending on the character's position and what they do, you have to get a little bit more industrial. All right, so once we get a nice image out of Keyshot, it'll probably look something pretty clean, something similar to this. And then with Photoshop, we kind of try to give it like a little bit of story or just a little bit of grunge, and something that we can do really quickly. So as you can see, this adds a little bit of glow. It tells what kind of pass this is. This is the very first pass of this one. Obviously, they're going to be working, so it's a little bit dirtier. You have dust on the lens. And then once we get some nice images and the helmet's approved, we can start to move forward to either the character is being designed, the outfit for the character is designed previously, and there's a rough helmet done, or there's a helmet done, and sometimes we'll design the outfit off of the helmet, and depending on a certain situation, which me and Jeremiah will talk and figure out something for that. So for this one, Jeremiah did a quick sketch, and then I ended up modeling it, and here is kind of what it starts to look like once we get our hands on it. And this one was pretty interesting because it has an oxygen mask that can be taken on and off during certain situations. So if there is an emergency, it can be EVA capable. And also we do the interiors of all the helmets as well, and this one has a pretty decent look of the interior padding, and everybody knows what it is. So once we get something that's a concept that Rob approves and that he likes, then we can integrate it into the character designs. So then Jeremiah will put it on one of the characters that him and another artist, Mark Decker, worked on. So you can see what it looks like, or what it may look like in game. So since a lot of these are 3D models, they're pretty accurate to what we'll end up seeing or what our end goal is. So Jeremiah does a really great job of kind of pulling it all together with call outs of the types of fabrics, which also help the monitor. And he'll take my helmet and snapshot it from different angles so that he can kind of Photoshop it right in there. It ends up looking pretty cool, and you have a fully fleshed out concept all the way from the interior of the helmet to the outfit to the clothes underneath the outfit to what their function is. And obviously, you know, the deck crew is yellow, but it can be a bunch of different colors. And also the lights will glow and blink in different types of patterns and stuff like that, depending on what they're doing or the operation that they're actually taking that moment. Thanks a lot, guys, for listening. I hope it was informative for you to kind of see my process for doing helmets and how we are kind of moving forward things in CIG and the level of fidelity that we try to achieve, and of course the immersion of the game. So thanks a lot for watching, and hope you guys enjoyed. See ya.